Hey, what's up guys? Eyes Open in California here. So today is Friday, December 7th, 2025. So almost 2 weeks ago, I had a dream. And there was a detail in this dream that was very weird. I still don't have an explanation for it. And then a few days later, I had another dream, and there was something in that dream as well that was almost connected to that first dream. So anyways, I want to make this video just to video log this so I don't forget any details. So almost 2 weeks ago, I had this dream. And I've actually made this video a few days ago. And I didn't like the way it came out because I ended up like divulging a whole bunch of like personal information. I didn't really feel too comfortable with it, to be honest with you. But anyways, so the dream goes like this. Something had happened and God had blessed my financial situation. Like my financial situation had changed. And I was in a new house. It wasn't this house. It was a house that I had never seen before. And in the dream, I never did see the outside of the house. I only saw the inside. So I'm on the inside of this house and I'm looking around and all my family is inside this house. Like my immediate family, my brothers and sisters and my cousin that I grew up with and my folks. So they're in my house. And they're like, oh, this is great. This is great. And they're like, hey, Rich, man, like this is really great of you to support us financially. And I was like, whoa, hold up. And I started talking to them in the dream. I said, listen, for years I told you the things that God was showing me. And I showed you how to do what I was doing. And you didn't do anything about it. You did nothing about it. And now that it's here, now that it has all come to fruition, do you expect me to support you financially? Like I showed you how to do this yourself and this could have been you, but you didn't do anything. You didn't have any faith in what I was saying. I made videos about it. I put it on YouTube and I had this long conversation with them. And I said, I'm not gonna support you financially. You didn't have any faith to do it yourself. And I showed you how to do it. I told you. So I'm not gonna do it. And they were like, oh, that sucks. And I'm like, it is what it is. You should have did it. You should have did what I told you. So that's the conversation that I had with them. And that's not why I'm making this video. The reason why I'm making this video is because in that house, there was this much water all throughout the house. All throughout. As I was walking through the house, like seeing that everywhere was my family, I was sloshing through water and I woke up. So I don't know what that water was. Right? So my financial situation had changed and I had the ability to take care of my family. But God showed me not to and put the words in my mouth to tell them that I told them the plan. I showed them the financial plan. They didn't do anything about it, so it's not on me. They should have taken action themselves. It's not for me to have to support them. So that's what God was showing me. That's one thing, right? Well, today I actually spoke with my family and I communicated that to them. I said, hey, I had a dream, and in this dream, I wasn't going to take care of you in the future financially. Because I'm telling you right now the things that you have to do. And I literally explained it to them right now. So that way later, there's absolutely no excuse. And to be honest with you, I think they're actually going to start doing some of these things. And I'm not going to speak too much about that. This video is not about that. I have videos about the financial plan that God showed me. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm telling you what God showed me. Take it to prayer and see if God wants you to follow the same thing. But I'm not going to talk about that. But I did communicate that to my family because this dream, the words came out of my mouth that I told them, I'm not going to support you financially. You're on your own. Like I showed you everything and you did nothing. So today I communicated that. I'm like, make sure you get this done. And I think they got the message. I think they actually might start doing this, which is the point. But the point of this video was that there was that much water on the ground inside the house. I don't know what that means. So my financial situation had changed, right? And I do know that God had shown me in a previous dream that these stocks that I'm sitting on are supposed to hit during the month of July. So when I woke up, I was thinking like, does that mean that that's going to happen after the month of July of some unknown year? Hopefully it's 2026, but it's definitely supposed to be July. Does that mean that after July, I'm going to move into some house and then my people are going to start trying to like get me to support them financially? And God answered that question for me. God showed me what I'm supposed to do about that. I'm supposed to say no, stop, no, and don't. It ain't going to happen. Like, you didn't have no faith. This is what happens. But I actually communicated that with them today. So there's no surprises for later. Because I have to be obedient. That's what God showed me my stance is supposed to be. So that's what it has to be. However, I can still encourage them to take steps to kind of mimic what I've done. But I still understand what that water was. So if my financial situation changed in that dream, I'm kind of, under I have to presume that it was after July, because that's when the financial situation would change. But anyways, I don't know what that water was. So a few days after that dream, a few days later, I have another dream. In this dream, I'm a delivery driver for Amazon. Now, I don't work for Amazon in real life, but in this dream, I work for Amazon. And specifically, I was driving from Phoenix to Middle America, one state inland from the East Coast. Like right in the middle of America, one state inland. And I was driving there to deliver something. And they asked for an overnight delivery of whatever it was that I was delivering. And I have, like in this dream, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just some dude who's driving all night. I'm driving all night. The morning comes, it's early morning, or no, it wasn't even early morning. It was like midday. And I get out of the van and I walk up to this house and I knock on the door. And the person that opens the door in the dream is the person that's going to be my person. It's the one that God is going to put next to me. It's the woman that God is going to place next to me at some point in time. So she opens up the door, and in the dream, I'm surprised. I'm like, whoa. And she says, what are you doing here? And I said, hey, so I'm with Amazon, and I have a delivery for you. And she was like, are you sure about that? I'm like, yeah, it's in the van right now. So she was like, And she looked at me, and she was checking me out. She looked at my feet, and then she looked up at me. And because she's just a shorty. And she looked up at me, and then I looked down at myself, and I was dressed horribly. I was wearing, this is the reason why I'm making this video. I was wearing rain boots in this dream, but they weren't like mucks. Like they weren't like fancy rain boots, right? They were like these cheap, flimsy Cockmart rain boots. And then I had these blue jeans on that had like grease stains on them, and they were hella dirty, like hella dirty. And then the shirt that I was wearing was dirty and sweaty because I had been driving from Phoenix all the way there. It took, however long that took is how long I was driving for. And I looked down at me and I was like, oh man, this is horrible. This is a catastrophe. This is a horrible first impression. Now, the alarms are going off in my mind, and I'm like dying of embarrassment as I'm looking at myself like, what am I wearing right now? So she's looking at me and she's like shaking her head. And so I said these words. I said, hey, what are you doing for the 4th of July? And she said, I don't know. I said, are you barbecuing or something? And she says, I don't know. And I was like, all right, well, check it out. Let me grab that thing out of the truck, and then I'll make my delivery and I'll be on my way. So I get the thing out. I go inside the house. I make my delivery, whatever, and then so I'm gonna have to like divulge some information. So this person that I'm waiting for, the person that God has shown me in 42 dreams now. 42 dreams I've had of this person. The person that's my person, but the person I'm going to be with until the end of time. That person is currently married. And this person has a YouTube channel. And I know who this person is, and this person knows who I am. But I don't think this person knows that I know that that's my person. And I don't say nothing because this person's married. thou shalt not commit adultery. I am not down with OPP. You know that song, You're Down with OPP? Yeah, you know me? I'm not down with OPP. That's somebody's wife. And I wouldn't expect this person to try to like talk to me like that, because that's not cool. So anyways, that's the situation with that. So in this dream, this person's husband came home and he said, "Who's that?" And she goes, "Oh, it's the delivery driver. That thing we ordered came in." And he said, "Is that who I think it is?" She goes, "Yeah, it is." And he was like, "Huh, how about that?" And then I was all done with the delivery and I was like, "Hey, I'm all done." And I started walking out and I walked by her and she was looking up at me and I could hear her thoughts. And she thought to herself, "He's a lot bigger than I thought he would be." And I just walked out, and then I saw somebody out there on the sidewalk who was like my friend in the dream. And he was like, "Hey, what's up, Rich?" I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And he goes, "Hey, we're camping out at the lake for the 4th. Why don't you come out with us?" And I went out with him to the lake, and I walked out into the water, fully clothed, fully dressed, and I was high stepping. And once I got deep enough, my boots, the water went over the top of my boots. And then I woke up. And that was what I dreamt. So I know I just threw out a lot of information. A lot of people are like, wait, what? So let me just wrap up this thing with the boots in the water. So I asked this person, "What are you doing for the 4th of July?" She said, "I don't know." And then I said, "Are you barbecuing?" She's like, "I don't know." Like, this person was not very social with me at all. And I was dressed horribly. Oh, and I'm pretty sure I was nasty and probably didn't smell very good, because I had been driving. I mean, to get from Phoenix to Middle America, one state inland, it's going to take a while to get there. And I just, that first impression could have been a little bit better. But anyways, it wasn't. So that's that. But here's the detail. It was the 4th of July. And the other thing is too, is like, why would you be barbecuing? You're not supposed to be eating meat anyways. But anyways, it was the 4th of July and I was wearing rain boots. And I thought that was weird. Why would I be wearing rain boots on the 4th of July? It doesn't make no sense. And then I was still working during the 4th of July, because if my stocks hit, I'm definitely not going to be a delivery driver ever again. But I don't work for Amazon. I deliver freight, automotive parts, engines, transmissions, and tractor parts. All heavy. Most of it's heavy. But anyways, so that's what I dreamt. The first dream, my financial situation had changed. I had a new house. It was a big house. There was water inside the house. And I told my family, "I'm not going to support you. Like, you should have listened to me and done the things that I told you to do." But they didn't. In the dream, they didn't. That's why today I made it a point to convey that to them. I'm like, get this done. Get this done. Don't put yourself in that situation to where, like, just listen to me. Do it. So anyways, that was that. The other one is, it was the 4th of July. I was still working and I had rain boots on. So I guess those stocks ain't gonna hit before the 4th of July. You know, maybe they hit after July, but I had that dream that the stocks hit during the month of July. So maybe they hit after that. I don't know. But in that dream, I was wearing rain boots. I don't understand what the deal is with the water and the rain boots and all this kind of stuff. So the first dream about my financial situation changing and having that house that had water in it, that dream in chronological order must have been after the next dream that followed a few days later. Like, they were in the reverse order. You know what I mean? So that's that. So I'm making this video because I don't know what the deal with the water is. I don't know what the deal with the water is, and I don't know what the deal is with the rain boots. But I know that biblically, a flood of some sort, it always means like an invasion of people, or it could mean water. So I'm making this video because somehow or another, maybe there's going to be some kind of like an event that happens, and there's water everywhere. I don't know. So that's why I'm just making this video to video log those details. Now, I know that I had talked about the person that I'm waiting for, and I'm sure somebody out there is like staring at the camera right now like, come on and give me the details. So I'll just divulge a little bit of details. This person has a YouTube channel. I know this person, she knows me. She don't necessarily like me by any means. But anyways, this is the person that God is going to hand me. And it is a true test of faith in God, because God has shown me 42 times about this person. And in my dreams, I love this person like a fat kid loves cake. And she's a cutie. But in real life, this person, as far as I know, could really give a hoot less about me. So like God is like testing my faith. Like, hey, are you going to hang in there, buddy? Or are you going to go and find yourself a different woman that's not God approved? In which case I'll have to deal with, that. So I'm just going to hang in there. I'm going to, I'm just going to wait for this person who, by all means, to my knowledge, doesn't really give a hoot about me. But I know that that's going to change one day. So that's for all the freaking chismosos out there and all the chismosas out there. That's what's up with that. The person that I am waiting for, to my knowledge, doesn't give a hoot about me. And I don't really know if God has been showing them me. But that person is currently married. And at some point in time, this person is going to be handed over to me. I don't know when. It's been a long time. Been a long time waiting. I don't know how much longer the wait is going to be. But anyways, she's definitely a cutie pie. And we'll see what happens. But I got faith. I got great faith. So anyways, that's that. I guess I kind of feel weird, so I'm going to cut this video off right now. I'm kind of like feeling a strange way right now. But so that's what's going on. So if somebody says, hey, God wouldn't make your kingdom wife someone who's currently married. Like, I used to be married. So anyways, if somebody wants to say, hey, hang in there, bro. Like stay with God and just remain single and wait for your kingdom woman. If you want to like encourage me, that's cool. If you want to discourage me, you can kick rocks, because I don't care. Your opinion means nothing to me. So anyways, that's what happened. So this Eyes Open in California. Thank you. God bless you. And I encourage you to take a look at some of those financial videos that I made that God showed me, the plan that I'm currently on, and then ask God if it's for you. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you if what God showed me is for you. Only God can show you if it's for you. So ask God. And that's basically it. So anywho, this Eyes Open in California. Thank you. God bless you.